I don't know if he did this on a pod or in the stream with Oodie. Do you think that if Neji was alive, um, he would have trained with Sasuke or Neji? This is more towards either Oodie or Kamui, because I
You
know
talk
Mello
about like
talked about
Boruto.
it. Who did I say?
You just said he. I assume
Oh,
you mean
Boruto.
Boruto,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah. Boruto. Okay. Yeah.
um, I don't know if Udi, do you want to answer first? I mean, I have something I can say if you need time to think, or vice versa. Is
No, I
fine.
think he would go with Sasuke because I don't think I think the reason he went with Sasuke originally is because that is like the antithesis of Naruto in like the sense that it's like almost like a way to like spite Naruto. Like, yes, Neji's a rival to Naruto, but he's not like the guy to Naruto because it's not about Boruto, it's about from Naruto's perspective. And so Boruto isn't teaming up with Sasuke because Boruto thinks Sasuke is cool. He's teaming up with Sasuke because Naruto thinks he's uncool in like a weird way.
Yeah, so I completely agree. And just to add on, I mean, there is the element of like he straight up thinks Sasuke's cool as shit. Why because he's the opposite of Naruto in like every way to Boruto's perspective. No, he thinks Naruto's uncool. That being said, I'm sure Boruto would have trained with Neji at some point, the same way he trains with Hanabi or Hinata on the side. But I think his like the idolized master would still be Sasuke.
We would
The
never see it
interesting
though.
thing would be, would they have put Neji in Konohamaru's place as a hypothetical?
Wait, at one
Nah,
point,
they
at one point, at one
can't do
point,
that.
he did think he was uncool, but I think it was the fight with Momoshiki when he realized who his dad was, and he like, changed his perspective of him.
But yeah,
Boruto thinks he's being uncool, not that Sasuke is being uncool.
No,
yeah,
I'm
but
not
like, and
saying
he still
that.
thought Sasuke was cool after the fact. He just
Yeah.
And Boruto wasn't being like Sasuke when he thought he was uncool.
I'm confused. What's happening?
Sasuke was always cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was collecting the cards, he was mad he was getting the Naruto cards. He wanted the Sasuke one. I remember that one
Yeah.
in that episode.
Exactly. Yeah, like hypothetically, if
So
Naruto
do
was just
you
always
think
there, he
that?
wouldn't care about
Go
Sasuke.
ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I was saying if Naruto just was never Hokage, he was just always home, and so he just was a good dad or whatever, quote unquote. If Boruto thought that, I don't think he would really care about Sasuke. At least not in the same way.
probably not to the same extent. He might think it's really cool regardless, but I think part of the reason he wants to be the Shadow Hokage is how it's so unique from the regular Hokage. Now, Boruto, by the point that he actually makes that future goal, he's already gotten over Naruto, but he's like, I don't want to copy my dad still. He might still have that same sentiment anyway, but it probably wouldn't be as strong, at least not at first, as it initially was.
I think it's
without
more
the whole Hokage business.
It's the more interesting conversation in this hypothetical because he likes Kage Basa. Is that the hero's name from TV? Like he's watching a TV show and he's getting invested in buying the glasses and like cosplaying as him and stuff. And I think Kagemasa feels a lot more like Neji. And so I think that's just who he naturally would lean more towards. Naturally.
I'm not gonna call that like Neji. That's like his own man. He's ain't like anyone.
Okay.
Bro said Kagemasa's like Neji. I don't get the comparison at all.
Maybe more so than Naruto or Sasuke, maybe, but not really.
Okay, at the very least, I think Boruto would see Neji like Kagemasa. I could imagine it.
If Neji was like a poster hero, everybody knew, like maybe.
Okay, what about the finite Tsukiyomi version of Neji?
Oh god,
that
would be awesome. I want him to be the sensei then.
Yo.
Next question: do you think that Neji could have trained Boruto better than Sasuke?
Are you referring to part 1 training or time skip training?
Time skip.
0 chance, no. Well,
you have no Byakugan.
No.
Remember that.
What do you mean by better? What do you mean by better?
Yeah. like specifically the power skill aspect, or is there going to be like a mental like maturity aspect involved, just the overall?
It's like, because when it
Yeah,
comes to
overall, like this, like, do you think he would have been a better fighter than what we see currently?
This
when it
is
comes to
difficult.
Sasuke, I think he I think he just has like a deeper bag to like impart upon Boruto.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then also a lot of what Neji can bring to bear, um I feel weird saying requires, but maybe because I think like once you remember where the what is it, the chakra, like the kid, the what is it, the little pressure
Chakra
points that
network.
shut, yeah,
Oh,
once you like
Chak-
the Tetsu or something, Tetsu or whatever, once
Kentetsu
you,
or Tenketsu.
yeah, like, I feel like once you remember where that is, shouldn't you always just know where to tag? I know like
It's
accuracy is
hard
an
though
issue.
because when people are moving, it's hard to like keep track of that. I mean, Boruto has been taught the gentle fist anyway by Hanabi slash Hinata, but it's just not the most practical thing for him to rely on. So for Boruto's unique situation, yeah, I think Sasuke is just gonna make him stronger because the jutsu Sasuke knows are more applicable to Boruto, especially since he is a lightning change
Hold
in
on,
chakra
so
nature.
my
Whereas
only thing with
Neji, he
that,
has other things, but he primarily just does the gentle fist.
my only thing with that would be like, I think maybe if Boruto, like, when, because I said this before, like when Boruto shows up, he's like, "Yo, I have the Byakugan," and that they tested it. I think Neji would have been a lot more like, 'cause he fought Hinabi, and then like his grandfather and stuff was kind of measuring him, and Naruto's kind of writing him off a bit in the anime. I feel like Neji would have been the one to fight him there, and perhaps Neji could have been the one to, because he's very like, they did this whole thing where he's like wise beyond his years post death. So I think if he lived, he definitely would embody that kind of characterization or characteristics rather. So I think he definitely would have been a little bit more mentoring with Boruto, and he could possibly bring that Jogan out of him if the whole like new way stuff doesn't kind of occur, that kind of seals it away for a little bit with the whole gate being closed. So if he has the Jogan that can see like those points, then I definitely think his taijutsu, like his gentle fist, would be more prominently featured. But then he will lose out on his sword style. He will lose out on a lot of his like well, I feel like Boruto would always lean. I think Boruto would just combine Hyuga style taijutsu, air palm rotation with like his Naruto style, as I would call it, with the shadow clones and the lightning styles, like the stuff he just did naturally. And I think he just would have been like a super. He would lean more into like the Hyuga style, but no matter
Yeah.
what, like whatever you overlay atop of Boruto, it's going to be powerful. It doesn't matter if Tintin taught him or Sasuke taught him, because Boruto is like like an Otsutsuki
Not
18% in base.
10
So like that's, and so then you stack on karma if you can manage that somehow. Like it really doesn't matter who teaches Boruto. Boruto's a generational talent with like external amplifiers from like a parasite god or wannabe god. So he's going to be God tier regardless of who trained him. But I think Sasuke could just give him more versatility, and a deeper bag probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the difference maker would be if Neji was a, which as far as we're aware, he probably can't just do this, but if Neji was able to help Boruto at least more frequently bring out his Jogan and then use it effectively while it's out, then I think, Neji's training would have the advantage here because the Jogan's probably going to be too strong compared to freaking, Purple Lightning realistically, but it's hingent on the fact of whether Neji can actually help Boruto use the Jogan more often. As far as it is now, he just kind of pops out randomly twice in the series, and that's it.
The short answer is that Sasuke would be the better teacher. The long answer is this is a very difficult question to answer because Neji did die, so we don't have a baseline for what adult Neji would be like in the first place. Especially considering he
That's also
lost his
true.
birdcage because he died. So this is not only just a hypothetical Neji, this is a different alive hypothetical version of Neji than what we could even imagine in the first place. You could say he's mostly the same as what he was, but I still think in like double his life worth of life extra, he would be a different person. Like he died halfway through where he would be if he was still alive now in terms of his life overall. And so I think based how Neji was originally, Neji only got one type of training style. And so I think, like Naruto never having a dad, Neji would fall into the same kind of flaw to where he doesn't know how to train Boruto differently than how he was trained himself, which was under the very strict and demanding style of training, which was very difficult, which Boruto would very much so not resonate with, and like almost
especially early on.
Exactly, and lean against Neji. And that early on's where it matters, because then that just means Neji isn't going to be his teacher. Because where Sasuke was strict with him, he was like not calling out, or like he was like calling out Boruto on his BS, because Boruto is very much a genius amongst geniuses, just like Sasuke. Boruto wants to skip the fundamentals because he gets the general grasp of it, so that he just wants to move on to the more complexity of it. Like he wants to, basically, if it was up to Boruto, he would try to learn the nature elemental of Rasengan before getting the Rasengan down pat, which you can't do step 2 before you master step 1. I think Sasuke was better at teaching Boruto to teach himself to do that, whereas Neji would almost force it out of him, which would make Boruto like unmotivated to train, so he just wouldn't train at all, let alone with Neji. I think beyond that, you also have Neji in like the same situation, not only in terms of that, but also in the terms of who Neji is as a person, to where we see Neji train Hinata. Neji's not a great teacher. Neji's great at being taught, but Neji can't teach others in the same way. It was the same with Indra, as at least in the filler.
Sasuke's the same, actually, to be honest.
Sasuke a little bit, yeah. Sasuke, I feel like, mellowed out a little bit more to where he's able to be a teacher, almost like Jiraiya, in the way that he's able to have his students teach themselves in a very effective way, to where without Sasuke, they wouldn't do that.
Novel,
yeah,
it's more letting them teach themselves. He's not like the best at explaining it. He's more like, this is what I can tell you, and you're gonna have to figure it out from here.
And I feel like Neji, exactly. I feel like Neji wouldn't be able to do that. He'd get frustrated or annoyed with Boruto, and he wouldn't understand why Boruto isn't able to learn in the same way that he did. And again, I think it would just be like Indra, to where he's being too demanding, over the top, and strict, which would just almost scare Boruto from being his teacher altogether. And yes, he would learn.
I don't know if he would be that, actually. This might be filler only, but at the end of Naruto, Neji seems very easygoing with his training with Hinata. Like, he's pushing her, but he's like, hey, you look tired, let's take a break. Like, he seems very like friendly. I don't think he would be overly strict, to be honest.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think when it comes to like Boruto and Neji, I think you have to kind of look at Boruto's timeline. So he's like really close to his father, and then like the Hokage stuff starts to kick in, and Naruto like drifts away. I think in that moment, that like resentment for Naruto won't be as strong, because he'll lean on Neji, who I would imagine be in his life a lot. This is probably like the guy he's going to start to look up to in the same vein that he did Sasuke. And then we saw like in the time slip arc, Neji's actually really good at teaching. Just I'm not sure what you're referring to, but at least when he's like speaking with people and giving them words of wisdom and guidance and helping like their emotional growth, like he seems to be really really good at that. Even with like Naruto, where it's like your eyes see more than mine ever have, or something of the sort. But yeah, I think that's going to be the thing that kind of, I just think like if you look at the archetype that they've tried to set up for Neji post death, that wise beyond his years thing, and then he actually gets some years on him, I think he's going to be an incredibly wise and mature master for Boruto, and in the absence of Naruto, take on that kind of like uncle father figure role that's going to fill a gap or void that was there in the canon material. So I don't even think it's the same Boruto. I think he will be highly teachable and very patient with Boruto.
I actually, you have a point. We don't know exactly how it would turn out, but especially since Neji, unlike Sasuke, Neji will just be in the village, whereas Sasuke's off doing whatever the whole time. Boruto never met Sasuke until the one day he stumbled upon his doorstep. It is actually theoretically possible that Boruto will latch on to the cool guy Neji, the cool uncle, long before he ever even meets Sasuke. And at that point, hypothetically, he might be in too deep with his enamoration of Neji before meeting Sasuke, to the point that he doesn't care too much. But we don't know how it would turn out, is the problem, but that is possible, I think.
But why does he care so much about Sasuke? I think it's because of the gap or the void that was there, or at least or the gap was the right word. The gap that's there between him and his father. But I think that gap gets filled a bit with Neji's presence, like you said, always in the village. So there's not that like kind of, oh, it's not just it's Sasuke or what. No, that's my father's rival, right? Like that's a different type of thing. So I think, yeah, I don't think it's the same kind of like infatuation because he doesn't have the same kind of animus towards his father if Neji's there. I think.
I don't
Another
think
interesting thing to play on. No, we don't know if Neji would do this, but I think this is filler too, but just to mention it, Lee or Neji either tells Lee or I think he thinks to himself about that Lee needs a new rival or something because Neji's rival in Neji's mind is Naruto. It is possible that Neji will mention that he is Naruto's rival or that Naruto is his rival. And so Boruto might think, wow, that's Naruto's rival. I love this guy all the same.
Bro,
Even
I'm
though
gonna
he's
be
not the
honest.
rival, Boruto wouldn't know the difference.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Beyond the tuning exams, Neji and Naruto never really had a rivalry, so Boruto wouldn't even really know that they were quote unquote rivals for like a month off
It
screen.
depends on whether Neji mentions it.
I sincerely doubt it.
It would be like in the time slip arc when Sasuke starts to talk about, his past with Naruto. I think there would definitely be moments that I think it will be relevant for Neji to bring up, like, like, hey, you're going through this, Boruto. Well, I once knew a kid who thought that you were predetermined to be whatever. Like, he never said it was me, but that type of stuff. And then he's like, yo, but then your father came along and changed his, and then Boruto's like, I think I heard something. Oh, that was you. But it doesn't need to be stated. It just needs to be understood. So I think there's moments like that could occur maybe.
Yeah, I hate to be this guy, but I think this is also best case scenario where Neji would be relevant in the Boruto series as it is. I think realistically, with the writing we got, he would just be discarded in the same way he was with Shippuden. In the same way the Konoha 12 are discarded throughout Naruto as well, Boruto as well.
No shot, because because like the whole like bolt and screw thing, like he's too integral to Boruto, even in death. I keep going back to that time slip card because that's kind of like when they brought him back a little bit, and I think maybe like when Boruto felt fear towards his father and all this stuff, like that's what Neji did. Like he was a kid and he was able to like teach him like through his words. And I think an adult Neji who's like wiser, more intelligent, more experienced, he's going to be able to do that tenfold potentially. I don't know. I feel like there's a space there for early Boruto, especially in the anime, where Neji can really shine as a character, as like a mentor or guiding light for Boruto. I do think it's interesting given Sasuke's development, because I think he gets a lot of development from Boruto, what that would look like for him. And even Naruto to a certain extent, that is interesting too. But just for Neji, I think he'd be a profoundly fantastic character if he had lived, especially for Boruto for sure.
I just disagree
I definitely
because
agree that Neji's potential would have been like very awesome to see. But to Oodie's point, Konohamaru and Hinata are two characters who wouldn't be the same as Neji. I think Neji would be better in this case, but Hinata's very integral to Boruto's life, and Konohamaru could have kind of played that big bro, almost dad-like cool guy role for him. Yet neither of those characters are really been important.
So
in the manga, the most important thing Hinata's done is get sealed away, and that's it.
Oh my god! I would say
it is tough to say for sure they would do anything with Neji, as cool as it would be.
I would say
I feel like it'd be cool to have soccer
Kamui.
involved right now, but they're not. Sorry.
I would say, yeah, no, I know. I would say that Neji's important in Boruto because of his death, and I'd say the same applies with a lot of other characters that died as well. Jiraiya, Asuma, pretty much everyone. In terms of the story, it makes sense. They want to give meaning behind their death and legacy going forwards as well. Boruto is named Boruto, in my opinion, because Neji died. If Neji never died, Kishimoto, Naruto, might have named him Menma or something. I don't know, something else. I definitely think so. I don't think he named him Boruto because if Neji's alive, like why would he? I'm just naming him after Neji. At that point, name him Neji.
The answer. I think they might still name him that because it sounds like Naruto.
Okay, whatever. But
hey, I got an uncle that's still alive that I'm named after.
Oh, well. Well, are you Naruto? Are you Kishimoto?
Bro, what kind
No.
of question is that?
Okay,
Are
then.
you Naruto? That's
Possibly.
wild.
No, but again,
That's
like
a
they're
stupid
doing this thing,
question.
like
You know it's
again,
weird.
like the Mirai manga. Asuma, if he was alive, he's not gonna serve nearly an integral role in that Mirai manga, in that story, as compared to as he is now when he's dead. And the same with Neji.
Yeah.
Seeing Himawari and Hinata go give him a sunflower at his funeral, yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a different scene of Neji alive if he is alive to replace that.
Do you need it? I
You
mean,
know what I think is weird to me?
Well, the point is that we're including
What's up?
Neji. But
no, I mean, well,
No,
hold on,
like
forget it.
the tuning exam.
yeah.
Why didn't they have any camera
You keep cutting out.
recorded?
I
Like
think.
20 years. Can you hear
Is it
me?
just me?
Can you hear me better?
No, it's not just you. Can you say it again?
Okay, yeah, you're cutting out.
Hello. Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you. Just keep cutting out periodically.
Okay, never mind. Just continue. I'll be
All right. So I'm gonna say to Mello's previous point that I think, at least in Neji's point of view, Neji definitely would separate training from his real life emotional teaching, or like just the things he says to characters like Naruto, your eyes are even greater than mine. When Neji's in training, I feel like he has a completely different mindset to where he's just going to go too hard, like an authoritarian figure. And to Kamui's credit, maybe towards the end, he was being a little bit nicer to Hinata. I think that might be Hinata having a special exception in that case, because like he just cares about Hinata that much to where he's not going to go as hard on her. But I feel like, again, just like Indra, he would just go hard with all of the students there. He's going too far, almost selfishly, because he almost cares about his own growth more or to the same degree as the others. So if the others hold him back, then he's either going to train them up or just leave them behind.
Well, why would he? I feel like Nechi would care for his nephew and niece very similar. I mean, it'd be different from the sister-like cousin he has, but like he would care for them. I almost feel like, especially if considering their hypothetical younger age here, like an 8-year-old Boruto, I would imagine Neji would be easier on an 8-year-old Boruto than a 13-year-old Hinata. Maybe it's because Hinata's character type was that very shy, someone who always ran away in the past. Granted, she got over it, but yeah, I don't know.
It depends.
I feel like based off what I saw, I can't imagine Neji being too strict. I feel like he pushed them really hard, but he wouldn't be like a dick like Hiyashi was in the past.
Where's that coming from? Like, can you point to some specific instances where, like, post exams or even post part 1, Neji would be like an asshole to anybody?
It would just be looking at his training with Hinata when they're actually doing that. And again, Kamui saying towards the end of Shippuden, they're a little bit more friendly, but like, I can't point to a specific episode, but we see it a couple times.
I mean, like
this is end of well, why does my thing look weird?
Because this is training, not normal scenario.
No, but like just think about like you in the gym, right? And you're with a friend or somebody you're helping. Like you want to push them, so like you're gonna like push them. But that doesn't mean you're an asshole. Like if you train with me, like I go crazy because I the whole military school thing. Like I don't fuck around. Like you gotta keep up or move the fuck around. Like I don't play games when I train, but like we're still good. We're still boys. We're still friends. But like I'm gonna be on your ass because I'm not about no wasting time.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing that Indra is doing.
He's like that. That's possible.
No, yeah, exactly. That is my point, though. I'm not saying that he's being an asshole. I'm saying that his training style, I don't think, would be adept with Boruto's style. At least, especially not at first, when he needs the heart of a shinobi instilled into him, because he wants to stay clean and all this. Neji's not going to put up with that. He's just not. And I don't think that he's going to be soft on him just because he's an 8-year-old nephew, because it really depends on how you look at Neji at his core character. He hated Hinata at first because of outside circumstances. I don't know if he always didn't care for Hinata, or if maybe when he was like 2 or 3, if he actually did care for Hinata before bad things happened to him, just because she's his nephew. At the very least, it seems like he cares about Hinata because of the relationship he builds with Hinata, rather than just because they're related. I feel like he doesn't care that they're related.
I think it'll be a different Boruto because the context would be different. That's why I kept mentioning like like Neji would feel that gap that would be there between Boruto and his father if Neji did live.
See,
Like,
I'll
'cause,
address this too.
like why is Neji, like why doesn't Neji have, I mean not Neji, why doesn't Boruto have like the spirit of a shinobi if that gap is filled? Like I think some values can be instilled from Neji. I think that's really Neji's actual value, by the way. I don't even think it's like his combat prowess. I think it's actually like the lessons that he can instill verbally and through his actions that kind of bring value to Boruto, more so than like I'm gonna teach you a new jutsu, because he doesn't really have a deep bag like that.
Right. So I did want to address this. So I think the difference between Boruto and Naruto is that Naruto didn't have a dad. Boruto doesn't have a dad in his life, but he still has a dad. So he's still focusing in that direction. Naruto could see Iruka as a dad because he didn't know or have a dad to look to. Whereas I feel like he would just look past Neji to focus on Naruto because he is still alive and he knows he is his dad and he wants specifically his dad's attention. He's not looking to Kakashi, who's being kind to him, or Shino, who's nice to him. He's looking past them because Naruto is still in the picture. And he wants Naruto's attention specifically. So if Neji's around, I would imagine he would treat Neji the same way as he treats any other adult in his life. Like, Hinata's still there.
I don't think
Hinata's
that he would treat him as his like new dad. He would just potentially might think of him as the cool guy in the rival, because Neji is cool.
Well, he sees Kakashi like that.
Potentially say he's Naruto's rival.
He sees Kakashi like that.
But what I'm saying is, it's two things. Kakashi, okay, so Kakashi's there, but he wouldn't have an integral part in Boruto's growth and development like Neji would. Like that's his family. Kakashi's not his family; he's a direct family. Like it's like, think of an uncle you love and have in your life. Imagine he's not there; it wouldn't make sense. Like that, like they spent a lot of time with their Hyuga family. So like that's number one. And then number two, I'm not trying to say like the context would be completely like he wouldn't still have some animus towards Naruto, but I'm saying like it's mitigated, like it's lessened to the point where, well, yeah, I think that just stands. So those are really just my 2 points with that.
I don't know if it would be. If it is, I think it's lessened to an inconsequential degree to where we get the same outcome. I don't know if the gap would be filled because I don't know if Neji would be playing an integral part. First of all, he's a Jonin, he'd be going off on missions, but I won't even count that because Era of Peace, so he's not going on as many missions despite his importance. But besides that, I mean, why isn't Hanabi or Hinata or Hiyashi playing that role?
So I think there is an important thing to note. Boruto has the mom home all the time. So I feel like he's not going to look for that female mother-like character to be around him as much as he would potentially look for the male guy. I just think because Naruto is absent, while Hinata isn't absent, I feel like Boruto would be looking for a male figure more than a female figure because he already has that. Not to mention that he does see Hanabi quite a bit, but Neji's cool. You know, he's the opposite Naruto. He's not the goofy dork in the Hokage office. He's cool.
But that matters though. Like how he's perceived by the younger generation. Like that absolutely matters. Like it was a lot of that for Sasuke. Like his presentation. Like if I would imagine if Sasuke looked like Guy, God bless his soul. It probably wouldn't.
Somebody do the Photoshop.
Yeah, like it probably wouldn't even be like the same kind of. It was like, yo, you sure, bro? Like you kind of a dweeb. Like even if you saw like Guy be like a beast, like it would be like a different vibe. So like cool factor does matter. But like yeah, like that's that number one, he's a guy. I mean, that does matter. And then number two, like Kamui said, his mother and his aunt, like they're always like there. So like he's not seeking that type of like male to female relationship with his family members, but the father figure, the male figure is gone. So that void gets filled by Neji. He becomes like that male figure. And I do think it's super significant. Like you're saying, like it wouldn't be like the margins wouldn't be so significant to where like it would change anything fundamental. Like I do think it would change just by nature of the context being different. I said this like last time as well in a different topic. The context being different just fundamentally is going to change things. We'll never know how much. I don't think anyone's arguing for like specifics, but like yeah, no, I think it's yeah. It changes
Well, that's the
I
difference
also
between the
think to
butterfly
contrast
effect and just
Hiyashi here,
nothing changing.
Hiyashi's the only grandfather, and he's the super lovey-dovey doting grandfather at this point in time.
That's what I was gonna
Neji
say.
is in it to the point that Boruto, it's like the goofy, oh, I don't want to go to my grandpa. He's too loving. Neji's not going to be like that unless, like, I don't imagine it at least. So I really feel like the cool guy factor is going to be at play.
Yeah. Well, Hiyashi is an adult male, so I was gonna say that he's adult Hyuga male. So, but then he is fruity. Okay, I'll give you that. I don't remember.
old.
That's how
old
the
as hell.
audience is perceiving him. I don't remember exactly how Boruto perceived him, but I do think he perceived
Boruto
him.
was like trying
as
to run
fruity.
away. He's like, oh no, he got trapped because Himawari was all for it. Boruto was like, oh, he's too lovey-dovey.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
he loves them, but it's just like like it's like nobody wants to chill around their grandparents when they're that age. Like they love them.
Exactly.
Like I got friends, bro. Like I gotta go.
Oh, then you might treat Neji the same way. He's gonna go hang out with Chocho. Listen, I'm just saying
But
because
Neji's
again, this is what I'm saying.
cool.
We
He's
have
definitely
no. Like, okay, I don't want to make this argument because this is a freaking stupid argument, but yeah, Neji is dead. Okay, we don't have a baseline for Neji like we do for Sasuke. We can't base adult Sasuke based on the characterization of teen Sasuke. Maybe Rock Lee would have rubbed off on Neji, and Neji's going around trying to give Boruto piggyback rides, and that's uncool
It's
to Boruto.
possible. Yeah, we don't know. We just can only guess.
Wait, so let's not have the conversation then.
No. It's not having the conversation. It's including all aspects into the conversation. All the more reason to have the conversation.
But that's a
Going with that
disqualifier for the
hypothetical, if
conversation.
hypothetically
Yes, it
Neji
is.
became like Rock Lee, I don't think he would look to Neji as the cool uncle in that case. He'd look
But
at
that's
him
what
as
I'm
the goofy
saying.
uncle.
Yeah. I'm
But
saying
that's probably not the most likely scenario.
yeah, I don't know
think it's
about
more
no,
likely
I
that
think
he
it's equal interpretation. Okay, I don't want to say that.
Nah, bro.
It's we just listen,
Hiyashi's turn
16
is very
years.
unexpected.
16
So-
years of exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's exactly the point I was gonna make. If freaking
But-
Hiyashi, the most strict
but
Hyuga, can change
Hiyashi's
into that,
is
who knows what could have happened in
But
Neji?
Hiyashi's
how
wasn't the
is he the
more
most strict?
likely, the more probable change. That was the rare, extreme, unexpected change. We can't expect Neji to do the unexpected in this case.
But the
We would expect him to do the
unexpected
normal thing.
is what we got. So therefore, the unexpected is almost expected now in this case because it's the new baseline.
No, I don't. That's not how that works, Oodie. If there's a 10% chance of rain and it rains, that doesn't mean we should expect it to rain every time it's 10% chance of rain. That's just, it's 10%. It's the less likely case. It just so happened to happen.
But in the one,
for
no,
one
but
time.
this is the 1 in 1. There's only one factor here. There's not two different things that happen. So in the 10% chance
Yes,
that it
there
rains
are,
and it
because
rains,
Sasuke
then
is
100%
another
of the time that
Sasuke-
it's 10% of the chance to rain in this one scenario, then it does rain.
I don't think